Hey everyone, and welcome to the Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey video podcast. I think one thing that we can all agree on is that it can be really hard to dismantle dysfunction. There's absolutely a clear correlation between having role models and people around you who have reached elements of success, and the effect that this then has on your own abilities to find what freedom looks like to you. Perhaps it's finding a new job, sitting those exams you've been putting off, or leaving that abusive relationship. Our aim here at Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey is to give you an insight into politely rebellious humans who are living out their dreams right here in Pompey, despite facing obstacles along the way. We've just wrapped series 1 and we're ready to share 7 incredible journeys with you. All we ask of you is to like, subscribe and share these incredible stories. And be nice. Always be freaking nice. At the end of the series, all new subscribers will be entered into a prize draw, which we will record and announce right here. So if you want to see series 2, please remember to do all the free stuff. Like, subscribe, share, and enjoy series 1.
You know, my last job that I was in sales was kind of that realisation of what I've heard corporate to be like, and that was a big eye-opener. It was actually something that it had been a passion and a dream for such a long time, but there was one point where I honestly it was just a dream and I didn't think that I'd ever be capable of doing that. You know, I was like, oh, I couldn't do anything like that. Yeah. And I never, ever thought I could have a life like this. I didn't think I was worthy, I didn't believe in myself at all.
Where does that stem from? Welcome to Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey, and this episode we are joined by the absolute powerhouse that is Bianca Brathwaite, is that
Brathwaite, yeah. It's not got the I in it.
No. Oh. So she is a founder and director at Mindset Maintenance, the all-round freaking queen. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Intro.
Aww. You're welcome. It's all true. It's all true. I only tell the truth.
Yes.
So yeah, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
As you know, we're really trying to push out evidence, so to speak, right, of just some of the awesomeness that is right here in Pompey.
And there's so much.
So much. It's crazy, isn't it?
Did you know, I think it was in 2021, we were recorded as the most entrepreneurial city in the UK outside of London.
That's incredible.
I know, proper mad.
That is absolutely incredible.
Cool though.
Yeah, and I don't think it's until you start like getting yourself in amongst it that you realise quite how much is going on and quite how many quirky, kooky entrepreneurs are like just walking amongst us, living their best life.
Someone will literally just be like, I'm starting a business on this.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm doing it. And I'm sure for all of them it's not easy.
No, of course not.
Just takes perseverance, right?
Perseverance, yeah, all of that rolling of the dice and all that jazz. So you're from Portsmouth. Tell me a bit about you and your upbringing. Where did Bianca begin?
Yeah, so I am pretty much from Portsmouth. I say I'm from Portsmouth. I was born in Northampton.
Yeah.
Literally come down to Portsmouth 2 weeks later.
Oh, did you? Oh, bless you.
Always, like, my mum has always grown up in Portsmouth, my nan and granddad. For home in Bedhampton. Yeah. And so that has always been our stomping ground. I now live in Waterlooville. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, moved up to Waterlooville when I was 12. Yeah.
So what did you start off life? Sort of like Bedhampton way or town way?
Fran.
Did you? So you went to junior school down there?
Tell a lie. Lived in Waterlooville first, Springwood Avenue.
Yeah.
Pretty sure we then went to Havant. Fratton, right opposite Fratton Park. Literally seen many a squabbles outside my window. My mum's like, get away from the window. I'm like,
people watch.
This man's getting his head smashed in. Good old Pompey. Then and I moved up to Waterlooville with my mum, my stepdad, and they were due my little baby sister, who's not a baby anymore. She's 21.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
it's
we...
a big age difference.
Yeah, I know, right?
So were you an only child until that point?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
And was it just you and your mum, or was your dad around? Because you obviously just mentioned your stepdad.
Yeah, so my stepdad's been in my life since I was about 5.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
So to you, he's
me and mum
dad.
were just rocking solo.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, exactly
Yeah.
exactly that.
Mm.
And so yeah, we've all grew up in Waterlooville and pretty much have been there ever since.
So did you go to school in town?
Yeah, I went to primary and
Did
then
you?
halfway through year 7 I moved up to Crookhorn. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Was
which
that the technology college?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
What was school like?
Do you know what? I liked school.
Did you?
I didn't.
Good.
I don't have any really bad memory. I mean,
Yeah.
I have I don't really. Do you know how I remember school?
Mm.
I was that person that just I would befriend anyone.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in the popular crew, if you're in the not
Yeah.
popular crew,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be friends with you.
Yeah, I was
like,
the same. I was
just-
like friends with the academics,
Yeah.
friends with the dancers,
Yeah.
friends with the ones that went out drinking Lamborghini, like
yeah,
just friends with everyone.
just friends with
Mm.
everyone, which was nice. Yeah, I didn't really suffer with bullying. I got the odd comment here and there, the odd flare up of nasty people, which as we get older and we look back and you bump into them people and they're still the same and you think it's nothing on me. I realise how much it's more personal on them.
Yeah,
and
100%.
a little bit
It's
sad.
more about them than it does about you. Was
yeah.
it in relation to like your race or anything like that?
Yeah, how did you
How
know?
do you know? Wow.
Afro girl, can I touch your hair? Like, and they aren't nasty comments.
Yeah, but they do get you.
But
you think
you
about them
just,
later.
Yeah.
One that always stuck with me was Medusa. So in order to tame the afro, we would obviously like plait my hair, not with extensions because there was no money for that, but like just individual plaits. I
Yeah.
remember being like in year 5,
Yeah.
and for the first time a boy going, "Oh, Medusa!" I didn't even really know what it was, to be fair. And it's obviously found out it was the one with the snakes coming out of the hair. And it's just always stuck.
Just think why.
Yeah.
But kids will be kids.
Because I suppose, like, I know that Pompey now is really diverse, and it's so diverse and it's so beautiful, but you're only a couple of years younger than me, so we're like mid-30s. And when
21.
we were another day passed, but when we were growing up, it wasn't diverse like that. Like I remember having to go to London to get a tub of Blue Magic and stuff. Right?
Oh my god, to go to the hair shop in London. I would go up to London to see Marty's and it was like, wasn't it like a trip out?
A whole adventure.
Can you take me to the hair shop?
Yeah. And then, you know, in between
Madness,
it was just a couple of plaits or Minnie Mouse buns. That was like the thing, right? Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is literally the maintenance.
Easiest thing to do.
The maintenance hairdo.
The easiest thing.
I love my space bun.
Yeah.
Space
It's just easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I used to, not that I used to, but I do when I have my extensions in. But these days I'm just like, I don't need to have my extensions in
not
all the time.
It's so much effort, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Because then I've got an air wrap and obviously I only use it when I've got my extensions because I like to curl them. It just takes hours.
Yeah.
It's literally...
It's minutes.
It takes 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not even that.
Gone. So yeah, I mean, I know that Pompey's like really diverse now, but obviously back when we were little girls growing up, like there weren't really that many people of colour knocking about the city. Weren't really there weren't any hair shops. There weren't really that many role models. You know, people that you could look up to who were women of colour. And I suppose it's slightly different for you because your mum is. She's mixed race, right?
Yeah.
My mum's white, so it's my dad's mixed up.
Yeah.
So I guess slight difference there because you had a woman in the house who you could speak to about things like that. But just thinking about it, like if you grew up what we would call like over the hill way, then surely it was like even whiter. Because like I live in Drayton now.
Yeah.
And I'm like the token brownie in Drayton. Do you know what I mean? Like there's not many people of colour at all. And so what was that like growing up as a teenager?
Do you know what? Like, when I was in school in Portsmouth, there was other mixed race, other ethnic backgrounds. And then I moved up to Crookhorn And yeah, it was majority white children. I guess the nice thing about it is, like, I didn't see colour. I just kind of like I said, I got on with everyone. I don't remember, apart from those odd comments, it being like a huge issue for me, you know? Whether other people had, I can imagine, you know, like in generations before mine, like my mum and my auntie's generation, I know that it was definitely harder for them. They've gone through things in regards to that way worse than I. So I almost feel like, especially when the Black Lives Matter movement came about, I read some of the comments of things that people have experienced and, you know, speak about it with family, and I think, oh my gosh, like I actually didn't experience it.
That type of thing.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I think that the Black Lives Matter thing, obviously a bit of a touchy subject, but it's, you know, stems from America, and I think, I mean, I've been to New York a couple of times.
Yeah.
Racism there is profound, and
Yeah.
it's obvious. Whereas I find here in England, personal experience, it's not.
It's a bit
like,
subtle.
Yeah, it's not like in your face.
It's almost like, I'm gonna say brown Bianca because I can get away with it. And yeah.
Well, you know what gets me is when people go, yeah, you know that black guy, and I'm like, sorry, who?
Yeah.
Like, is that how you refer to me? You know that brown girl?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
what?
Yeah.
You know that white guy?
And do you know what it is, right? I say that I wasn't affected. As I've got older, I've almost thought, like, you know, actually I was called Afro girl and I was called this and I was called that. Was I just not backing myself enough?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, or just not feeding into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, should I have turned around and clumped someone?
Yeah.
Like,
but if that's not in your nature, then
this is
not
true.
in your nature kind of thing,
This
right?
is true. Yeah, I've never punched a person in my life.
Well done. well done.
Which I think some people are like, really? Like, you're a body combat instructor? I'm like, yeah, but I've never actually punched anyone.
Yeah.
I've never pin punched, luckily, so obviously, touch wood.
We'll get her back in a year and see if it's still the same.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so. But no, that's amazing. And I guess you could take your anger out in that way instead, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
have you always been into fitness? I know that's such a big part of your life.
Yeah, do you know what I have? I wasn't in school. Like, as soon as I left school,
Right.
then I was. It's funny, isn't it? I remember running on the pitch at school and pretending to, like, pretending to spray my ankle. Like, literally falling, and they'd be like, go and sit down.
Why do you think
But
that
yes.
is? Did you go on and do something sporty at college, or?
I think, so my mum was always into the gym.
Yeah.
Then my auntie was into the gym, and then I think you kind of following, you know, I was like, I'm going to go to the gym because all my family's going to the gym. My cousin was going to the gym.
Try that.
Yeah, and so I started the gym when I was, in college, probably. Like, literally when I turned 16. I guess I got a boyfriend in college that was into the gym.
Okay.
And then
that train together, stay together.
Yeah, that's not true. But I was very young. I was very, very young. I think it's, you know, fair play to the people that get with people very young and stay together. But I think back to some of my ex-partners back then, and we're not even the same people.
No,
like, I just think that's
of
crazy.
Yeah. You're like, how did that even work? I think it's just a lot of the time when you're young, it's fascination, it's honeymoon period.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's just something new, isn't it? But so I started the gym when I was about 16. And whilst my food hasn't always been, you know, like, what even is that? Do you know what?
Food isn't what I feel like you were going to say
my
something.
food didn't
your
match.
food intake.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
So I've always loved to eat. I
love food. Yeah. As you can see.
Life is too short,
Life is
you
too
know.
short.
You know, people are like, I eat to fuel my body. I'm like, I eat because it's good.
Yeah.
I eat because it tastes.
What are your staples? What are like the couple of things that you just can't go a week without?
God, I mean,
actually, I did
coffee
see. I'm not going to lie. I saw
thing.
your story.
The beef
wraps.
I'm obsessed with that at the moment.
I was literally laughing
so
out
good.
loud because
So
you're like
good.
talking to get Christmas PJs, and then it was like beef wraps, but not those beef wraps. And I was just like, you're so like free, just beautiful.
What are my staple foods? I do love anything chicken and bacon. I love chicken and bacon. That's good.
Are you a bread person?
Oh, I do love bread.
Yeah, it's the devil, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I don't eat as much as I used to be fair, because I went through a thing for a phase of doing keto and then doing this and doing that, and I think we do that, don't we, with food? I think everyone's always tweaking their diet.
Yeah.
But I told myself at the start of this year, I'm not going on a diet of any sort. I'm getting the word diet out of my
vocabulary.
Unless it's to do with the diet of food that you eat, but not as to say going on a diet.
Yeah.
So I said I'm just going to try and eat good for my gut. But I wanted to try keto and I wanted to try fasting for my hormones. And then over the last couple of months, it's kind of occurred to me, we spend so much time worrying what we should eat, what should we do to work out, this, that, everything. And actually...
consuming, isn't it?
It is fucking consuming.
Yeah.
Sorry, can I swear on here?
Yeah.
It is fucking consuming. And for the first time in my life, I actually have not been focusing on anything.
Right.
I've just been focusing on eating good food.
Yeah.
And minimal
what
ingredients.
Feels good.
Like I'm literally having no rules, and I feel like better in myself. I think I'm losing weight. I've started running. Another thing is that I've always been into the high intensity cardio, weights,
with your fitness,
everything.
You do like
I teach
body combat.
Yeah, so I've been teaching body combat for about a decade now, and I don't have a permanent class at the moment. I was teaching like 3 classes a week, then going to a friend's class. It's like 4 intense cardio sessions a week.
Because didn't you just do a body combat marathon?
Yeah, I did. I love it.
Wow,
I love it.
Fun.
But that's always been my life, is to go at things full pelt. But also what's always been my life is storing a lot of stress.
Right.
A lot of stress, a lot of trauma. And so for the first time I'm like, I don't think it's a diet I should be worrying about. I don't think it's the exercise I should be worrying about. I think it's just letting go. Yeah. Letting go of
the worry.
What food should I eat? What exercise should I do? Just do what feels good. Do what's calming for your body. I started running, and it's like the lowest intense exercise I've ever done. Wow. Because it is really, isn't it? Although you're running, it's a very low intensity. It's just a little
things like
jog.
Combat. How have you found that that's helped your...
It's weird because I've tried running in the past. I hated it.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people enjoy running. This time I did it by doing the Couch to 5K app. I, hands down, if anyone's trying to get into running or get into exercising, I would say get into the Couch to 5K app.
What's the concept?
Concept,
darling.
So the concept of the Couch to 5K, and this is why I like it, because I think everything I've done in the last several years to get me up to now has just been small little changes. Okay. People say to me, how do you... I'm like, I honestly don't know. The only thing I do know is that I've just done it a little bit at a time. Yeah, and tried not to rush things, although some people would argue that, and so would I at times, but I think overall...
that whole thing of it's not a race, it's a marathon.
It's
not a race, it's a marathon.
It's not a sprint. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
With our, what are they called? Euphemisms? No, is that a rude thing?
No,
that's innuendos.
I don't know. But the couch to 5k is literally the concept of it is starting off with, you think you do like 30 seconds of running and a minute of walking. Do you know what I mean? Like it is.
So it's like the interval, speed interval type thing.
So it is really slow starting, and you get to pick a voice. So there's all like famous people, and I picked Yasmin Evans, and she is like cheering me on in my ears. It's brilliant, and they just take you through 30 minutes of exercise. Oh my gosh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I literally thought in my little mind that these types of programs were just an app that you download, and you can, after you've walked for 10 minutes, you can put in there that you walked for 10 minutes. I didn't realise that it was.
No, it's like proper talk
empowerment, motivational.
Yeah. Really
That's
good.
Cool.
Really good.
That makes more sense now as to why it's so life changing for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because you see it all over socials.
Yeah.
And, that's really, really interesting.
But yeah, it's helped. So I feel like I've turned a page in my life, going from like this hectic Bianca that wants to do all the high energy stuff to
actually, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, I am just, bringing my body down to a level, and I do feel better for it. I do feel like I've lost weight, and I almost now, I would say getting out and moving, running is one of my go-tos, which I haven't had for a long time. I haven't had I guess since leaving corporate, it's been hard to get into a bit of a structured routine in my day, because my week is a mixture of half running mindset maintenance and half doing, sales consultancy. And so I'm here, there and everywhere.
Yeah. So every day looks different, whereas for so many years everything looked the same.
The same, yeah.
So tell us a bit about that then. So your like corporate background, and then I guess at what point did you just go, no?
Do you know what? I think it's interesting. As you get older and you heal, and I use that word with a caveat because I think it's such a buzzword today, and people go, you're healing. I just think that is, we're always healing and building and rebuilding and knocking down and rebuilding. That is just part of life.
Yeah.
I see these quotes that are like, once you're healed, I'm like, I don't think you ever are.
No.
I think that's just like, it's a constant
transition type thing, and reinvention.
Yes.
And
but I think once you come into the world of well-being and you have a level of self-awareness of yourself and other people, and you start to dissect stuff and understand,
who you are as a person.
Yeah, and how the world works.
Yeah.
You just get older and you get wiser and more knowledgeable, You
learn not to watch the news, don't watch the news.
Oh my gosh, wow, because that does have
anything
an effect on your mind.
That's going to make you spiral, isn't it?
Yeah, right. I mean, I can't always talk there because I watch a lot of TikTok, and that's probably
sometimes worse, right? Yeah. But then you kind of can get stuck into the fun algorithms, right?
Yeah, I watch a lot of plane stuff, but I'm scared of flying. So sometimes it's. But whoa!
Stop.
I love planes.
What?
I love planes. I'm scared of being on them.
I'm love
weird.
This podcast so much.
I'm a weird species.
So you've not long come back from Australia.
Yeah.
You're planning to go to Australia again. You love planes, but you hate flying. How does one cope with that process?
How does my brain work? I really don't know. Do you know what? I will go back to that, but to go back to the corporate thing.
Yes.
I worked in corporate in years, and do you know what? Throughout my 20s, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I've worked at loads of jobs that were just epic.
No.
And then I think you get to the end of that chapter and you move on. I worked for BMW Group for a long time. I worked in automotive for a long time, and just love the people that I worked with. Like, it was really great.
Like sales focused.
That was customer service.
Yeah.
That was customer service then. And then I went into sales. Yeah, loved my first sales job. Left because of reasons that a lot of people leave jobs. It's just time to let it come to an end. And then my last job that I was in sales was kind of that realisation of what I've heard corporate to be like.
Yeah.
And that was a big eye opener.
Yeah.
Hardest job I've ever done.
Yeah.
With some people that aren't looking after your best interest. They're just looking after
a lot
what
of times,
money's coming in.
100%. And I think a lot of times in corporate, especially if you're doing a salesy account management type roles, it's a numbers game. It's all about hitting those KPIs.
Yeah.
It's not about your well-being. It's not about
absolutely.
did you manage to get some rest at the weekend?
It's like, it's about
come on,
what are you
get on the
do
phone
for me? Yeah, absolutely.
So how
absolutely
is there like a specific moment in time or like an epiphany type thing where you're like, nah?
Yeah, there absolutely was. Yeah,
Were you at work at the time?
Do you know what? I'd been going through some troubles. So this was last year, and my hormones. I come off the pill towards the end of my 20s.
Yeah.
My hormones just started kicking in. I then started tracking them and basically went private to find out they diagnosed me with PMDD, which is a cyclical based mood disorder. Okay. So, I'm absolutely fine until it hits my luteal phase. And then at times I was suicidal thoughts, suicidal ideation, real low mood, real rage.
And does that luteal phase that you mentioned there, is that something that happens when your period is incoming?
So luteal phase.
For everyone if they've got? Yeah. Okay.
I mean, it would be different for different people.
Yeah, like how
but for most it will be in the
itself.
luteal phase.
Right.
Yeah. So the symptoms might be different. There are a lot of different symptoms, but mine were like the rage, the low mood. Right. So they're called. So to have a diagnosis of PMDD, you have to have one of the main mood symptoms, which is like sadness, irritability, rage, depression, anxiety, that kind of thing. And then there are other things such as tender breasts, headaches, achy joints, not sleeping, that kind of thing. So when you get to
it's not your typical sort of period symptoms. It's amplified by 1 billion zillion.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do wonder, so there are risk factors as well, risk factors like trauma, previous diagnosis of anxiety, depression, family history of PMDD or mental health disorders. But for me, it started to get really intense, and that's really hard, right? When you are in a corporate job.
Was it a male-dominated environment?
That doesn't plan around well-being. They just plan. So now I can say, right, I'm in my luteal phase. I'm not going to plan to go to any network meetings or any big calls or any this or that, because
end up punching something,
and I might end up crying more than likely. The tears is, but actually I realise tears is a way of getting cortisol out of your body, and that makes sense as to why I cry a lot when I'm due on. And also when you have when you're constantly in fight and flight, your body will always favour creating cortisol. Because it's in fight and flight, you're always like this. It's over creating estrogen, progesterone. Wow. So for someone like me that's always what's going on? Where are we going? What are we doing? What do I need to do? What's my to-do list? Like, of course my body's favouring creating cortisol and keeping me in this loop. And so when your body's creating cortisol and looking after your fight and flight, it's not in rest and digest. It's not doing all those calming things. So it is just. which
That's
then
tiring.
goes on
really
to make
tiring.
your symptoms
So
worse.
before you went to, I know we've digressed a little bit, but that's fine. That's what this podcast is all about. So I know that you mentioned there about going private. So had you tried to get support or some kind of answer through the NHS first?
No.
You probably just thought they're not going to deal with this.
I
They're going to tell me, why do you want to book an appointment today? Well, I feel a bit ragey. I'm due on my period. I'm just going to be like, no, sorry.
Yeah, you need to bring back up at 8 a.m.
Yeah.
No, I am just that I was working for corporate. I got
lovely.
free doctor's
Perfect.
appointments and
Makes
private
sense.
healthcare.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of
Make
one of
most of
those. Yeah, exactly that. But now I would absolutely, I'm trained in menopause and hormone health, training with hormones on the blink. So I was absolutely know what to do, and would like to think I can equip other people that are going to the doctors. It's definitely all about advocating for yourself and just going in. This is what I've researched. This is what I know. This is what my body's doing. And actually, one thing they do say with PMDD is you've got to go into that doctor's surgery and you've got to have your diary of what your symptoms have been doing. What have your cycles been doing for the past 2-3 months? Because
they say that a lot with menopause as well.
Yeah.
That, because women will be, I don't want to use the word fobbed off. I don't know if that's the right word.
it's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah. Fobbed off.
Yeah.
When they would, go in and, women as young as us and younger can be perimenopause or
absolutely.
or in the menopause.
Yeah.
And they'll be trying to get help and be being told, no, it's not that, it can't be that, you're too young, it's not this, no, for whatever reason.
Oh, yeah.
And when we've held menopause focused events at JK Wellness, the common theme is you need to go in ready to state your case, ready to go boom, 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 boom.
Literally
and so
that.
what do they then do? What's the, I guess not the cure, because that wouldn't be the case, right? But what are the coping mechanisms that you use?
With PMDD, I feel like it is, so SSRIs, so I've been on citalopram since 10 years now.
Yeah.
10 years this year. And I was actually put on that for a different reason, not because of my hormones, but because I lost a family member.
Right.
And I tried to taper off them, and then it came to my luteal phase, and my mood just went plummeted.
Oh, wow.
And so it's that realisation of, I think it's a lot of trial and error, trying different things. That's why I've tried, going down the gut health route, going down the fasting, but actually now I'm at this place where I've realised I've got stress. For me is the number one impactor. Yeah. Is that a word? It is now.
Yeah, it is.
It is now.
Along with
The link between stress and PMDD symptoms
is prolific.
Fucking hell, yeah. If I'm in a stressful situation,
it's amplified.
Oh, there's tears, there's fucking throwing things across the room, all sorts.
Do you live on your own?
Yes.
Yeah.
I do at the moment.
Do you find that that's sometimes a good thing in that situation, but also a bad thing, right? It must be like a catch-22, where sometimes you want to isolate and just be.
I see it as a good thing because I like my own space. Obviously, I'm going to be tested with that because I'm going away, but I'm going to be staying with family members. I'm going to be staying with friends.
So don't
which I
come
think
near Bianca during.
But I think I know my calendar. I know my
your triggers by the sounds of it.
And I think it's for me. I won't hesitate to go and book a night in a hotel just because I need a bit of space or because I need to chill out or go and do. I like going to do stuff on my own, and I think when you live with someone when you're younger, you've not got that independence as much to go out and just do stuff. Whereas I'm 34 now, so living with other people, I'll just go off and do my own thing. Yeah.
So for anyone that's watching this that may, I guess, think that they could have PMDD, or maybe they know somebody that suffers particularly harshly around that time.
Yeah.
Are there any particular websites or individuals that they could get support from?
Yeah. So IAPMD
Okay.
is, don't ask me what it stands for.
No, we won't, don't worry.
Institute of something to do with PMDD.
Yeah,
An
that's
institute.
enough. That's fine. Well done.
But also, I would very highly recommend getting the app Flow
Oh, I've heard of
to
this one.
track your periods, to track your cycles. Do you know what? I'm 34 now. Started tracking my cycles when I was about 28, 29.
Right.
I have no clue
Yeah.
how I got through the rest of my life without tracking my
Without
periods.
them.
But I guess I was on the pill for most of my 20s.
Yeah.
So actually,
Did you just take it back to back?
yeah,
Like skip periods type thing.
yes, I did
Yeah.
for a bit, and then taking the pill almost kind of.
Well, it just throws everything out of whack, really.
Yeah,
Right? So
but for me, my symptoms were not there because
managed because of the
because I'm
hormones.
on the pill.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm on the Marina coil. They put me on because they felt that would help me, and it has more than what it was. But I do think a lot of it, which is a thing that people hate, is lifestyle choices.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the hardest things to change, right?
It is, and people don't like to hear it. But that's the truth.
So
I didn't like
about
to hear
exercise, food,
exercise,
drink.
food.
Yeah.
If alcohol's
Alcohol's
triggering
like,
you, stop
stop
drinking it.
drinking.
Like, I know people don't want to hear it, but
it's just the fact of the
bloody
matter, isn't it?
hell, it's easier to manage stuff like this if you just take away the things that just are hindering
That's
it.
causing the problem.
Hindering it massively.
So
yeah.
PMDD. So you say that obviously before you realised that you were suffering with PMDD, you obviously had your own journey when it comes to your mental health.
Yeah.
Which is of course what's led you to the awesomeness that is mindset maintenance, right?
Yeah.
So I guess at what point did you decide, I know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create a live event and book a space and sell tickets and hope for the best. How did that happen? Were you a couple of cocktails in? Were you like sat with your parents?
Do you know what? It was actually something that it had been a passion and a dream for such a long time. But there was one point where I honestly it was just a dream, and I didn't think that I'd ever be capable of doing that. You know, I was like, I couldn't do anything like that. And this is what I mean by it was these small changes,
Right.
really small changes. And so I'd say in my 20s, didn't really have much of an interest in well-being. I mean, I say that, I went to the gym, and I've always been consistent with the gym. I've always gone to the gym, at least 2-3 times a week. Or done some type
Just
of
as
movement.
a physical thing, as opposed to thinking about, well, even considering how that's affecting your mental health.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. I think there were parts of me that had that awareness, but it was nowhere near what it is now. I just wanted to go out and party and drink and just almost self-sabotage. So when I was 24, I think, you know, I've always been someone that's felt everything so very deeply. I think that's
like a huge empath.
Yeah, but also like the hurt, the overthinking, you know, if you're that way inclined, if you know, you know, you know. It's just,
you go deeper than deep.
Everything's intense. Everything's intense, and I do think that is generational.
Okay.
I do think that's generational. And when I got to the age of 24, I, long story short, lost my auntie. She lived in London, and she was killed by her next door neighbour. So that was when I was 24, and then when I was 2021, so what was I then? 31? I lost my cousin, her son, to, he unfortunately took his own life because of, you know, that's not a nice thing to deal with. And for any of us, it's not, because that trauma is
it's never going to leave you, is it?
It's not. And people that haven't been through stuff will never, people that haven't gone through loss.
Yeah.
And they're like, you can get over it. And it's like,
no, it doesn't
not,
work like that.
that is not how it works. And, thinking positively is not going to change
100%.
the grief that I'm feeling,
Yeah.
But actually, you do learn to live and you learn to move on. And, I very much like to think of all the things that they did. My auntie was very much the family advocate for. She was the one that went to uni. She was the one that did the holidays. She was the one that got the the big jobs, and was it was really cool to. And I almost feel like I kind of followed in her footsteps. She's done a lot around equality and diversity. So she's got a diversity award named after her in the publishing industry,
so
which is what she. And it's funny because the day I gave my notice into my corporate job, I got a message request on Facebook, and I thought I'll answer that later. Went on the call with my old manager, and said, hand him a notice in. And that message was actually from someone that used to go to university with my auntie, and was just like, I cannot believe the news that I'm seeing. I just was looking for your auntie, came across her Facebook, like, what on earth? Wow. But she said, I came across you, and you are just like her, and you are, the passion and the fire, and like made some comments, and I thought, that's
some weird,
like a
screwed
sign.
up little sign. Not screwed up, because it's powerful.
Yeah.
That's just.
I don't think stuff happens like that by.
It made my hair stand on.
Yeah, I don't think stuff like that happens. Like that was no coincidence,
Almost
so,
like a message from your auntie that you were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
That you're only going to be able, and I believe this, that you're only going to be able to give something your everything and be that success that you envision by getting rid of the crap. And so that was probably her telling you got this, girl.
Yeah, best decision I ever made.
So how long have you been solely Bianca?
A year now.
A year. Oh, well done.
Best year,
It's something
best
else, isn't it, when you let it go?
Yeah.
It's the best
wow.
thing. Yeah. I'll never forget the last meeting I had with my manager, very similar, corporate world, recruitment, so very salesy. Everyone was sort of white, middle-aged white dudes. And I'll never forget sitting in a meeting with my manager at the time, or was he I think he was the director, because there was a guy there, I had to say this, I'm not going to say his name, but he was bloody lovely, amazing. He actually ended up driving me to my wedding to get married to Joe, because he had a white Jaguar and I couldn't afford a car at the time.
Aww.
So he agreed to come and drive me. So not him, because he was amazing, but this other guy, I just remember him being in a meeting with him and him just going to me, Kashia, you need to learn when to shut up. I was just like, what? I mean, obviously you've got that with the context, right? I was trying to fight a battle for my team, so I was managing a team.
Yeah.
Some of the girls had earned some commission, and then they were trying to take commission away from them.
Yeah.
One of them was pregnant. One of them the other one had a child, and I was like, this 50 quid or 80 quid or whatever it was pennies. I was like, but to us, people like us peasants, like that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So to you and this company, that's a multi-million pound company, it's nothing.
Yeah.
You know? But to my team members, that's the difference between them eating next month or not,
Yeah.
Kashia, you need to learn when to shut up. It's too late, mate.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Who do you think you are? Yeah, that realisation.
When you let go of all of that, like...
Yeah.
Do you ever look back and remind yourself of how you used to feel getting ready for work? And then walking into work?
I remember how I used to feel seeing posts come up about that. I remember being in the HR meeting before leaving, and they're like, you realise this behaviour that you've experienced isn't okay. And I'm like, it's not, is it? No, it's not. No, it's not. Fuck. Like, yeah, that was a hard meeting to have. It was like that ball in my throat. I was honestly so scared
But it's good
scared.
that they acknowledged,
Yeah.
you know, whatever it was that you had been through and
Yeah.
experienced.
Yeah.
But yeah, that feeling of like having to put on your suit and your makeup and your heels and make sure your weave's perfect and all that crap, like...
Not about that life anymore.
No, don't miss that. Don't miss that.
Not at all.
At what point was mindset maintenance born?
Yes.
You've gone through this traumatic experience with obviously losing your auntie and then a few years later losing your cousin.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you struggled with your mental health.
Yeah, and I think I always have.
Mm.
And I do think a lot of it is strongly linked to my hormones now that I've kind of realised that actually I don't feel like that and I don't struggle all the time. It's in certain points around my hormones. Seasonal affective disorder I struggle with a lot.
SAD.
Yeah, there are specifics, you know.
Why do I live in England?
But yeah, that's why I'm going to Australia.
Was it you we were messaging recently? I think we were probably obviously organising this.
Yeah.
Because we're not besties. We probably should be, but we're not. Maybe one day. And I said to you, did you know that in such and such country it's sunny for 300 days a year?
Oh my god,
300 days a year, it's sunny. Sunny!
What country was that we were talking about?
What was it? I want to say like Malta or Portugal or
something
not far away with very little time difference, and I'm like, why do we still live here?
The sunshine makes everything so much better. It really does.
I must say that's one of the things I love so much about Pompey and being so close to the sea and just having the views of just all of that beautifulness.
It is so nice.
I often think, how do people live landlocked where they have no sea and no beaches?
Yeah.
What's your favourite thing about living in Pompey? You're still a PO postcode, right? So it all counts. I don't care what any of you say. It counts.
I would say, the beach. Yeah, absolutely.
Have you tried running down at the seafront yet?
Not yet.
Oh, that would be fun, I bet. Once you've got into like your stride, wherever it is you're running at the minute, going for a nice... I keep thinking
that I need to do it, but it's just easy running by my house.
Yeah, of course, it's convenient.
Yeah, it's convenient, but I do need to get down the beach for
just
sure.
for the experience.
Yeah,
it's like a once a month thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't decide if sunrise or sunset would be better.
I think both.
Yeah,
I think both. Yeah, but yeah, no. So between the age of 24 and my late 20s, I basically just hit the fuck it button. It was late nights, alcohol, drug fueled. I just didn't care. But it was like that mixture of, I better go to the gym now because I just spent 3 days just on a binge, eating shit, just drinking just what? And now I look back and I think, I don't regret it because, don't get me wrong, that's a really fun time.
Well, you need those memories for the rocking chair.
Exactly. But also, I don't know how the hell did I do that,
Well, you just couldn't keep doing it. You can't keep doing it forever.
No. And what I always say, what I always say is you don't know what you don't know. Because I'm always, when I first stopped drinking, I stopped drinking in 2021, the year that my cousin passed. I stopped drinking. I haven't been drunk since 2021. I've had a drink, but
not taking it to the limit.
No,
I've just down the toilet.
No, I've literally had. I think I had 2 drinks when I was in Sydney with my friends last year, and I remember he was like, "Drink this whiskey thing." Like we're in a speakeasy bar, so it's like whiskey mixed with a whole apple. Really strange. And I remember I had that, and I had a prosecco earlier in the day, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, like I'm on holiday, I'll try it." And I must have had about 4 or 5 sips. I think also the bloody jet lag was doing me in. Wowzer. So it's like 11 o'clock. I was like, guys, I'm done in. I've got to go to bed. But it doesn't have that same effect on me. I don't get the
buzz,
the joy and excitement. When I was younger, I remember.
Did you ever always feel like you needed that in order to be like the fun version of you or the social version of you?
yes, but also I felt like it was, do you know what, I almost feel like it was a key to unlocking a new fun world, that you start drinking and then you don't know who you're going to end up meeting, or whose house you're going to be at, or is there going to be a party here, or is there a gathering there, or, you know, it was like the key to the fun.
Yeah.
You just go off and do whatever.
Yeah. It's a cultural thing, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think life is very different now. Do you know what? Life is very different now in the fact that I'm not that same person. But also, I don't think nightlife is the same.
No. And
it makes me sad, because I could do what I did back then without the drugs and alcohol. I could, absolutely. Yeah. I could go out partying. Yeah. And I do. And I go to festivals, and I go to carefully selected events that I know I'm going to have a good time at. Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, but if you just want to go to the pub that I'm out. Yeah. But like, I miss Tiger. Yeah. I would happily go to Tiger if it was still open now, because the vibe in there.
Yeah, the dancing.
People actually danced. Yeah. People actually danced. People actually went out
to
and
have fun.
I just feel like it's quite sad anymore.
I remember when we were down at the Guildhall for the Pomodzi Inspirational Women of Portsmouth Awards. Yeah. And I hadn't been down to, the Guildhall on a Friday night for frickin' donkeys. And we were stood outside waiting for our car to arrive, and it was dead. And I was like, what?
It's madness,
what
isn't
is going on? And the younger one, because we went as there was a group of us, and a couple of them who were sort of 19, 20, they were like, yeah, this is what life is now, like.
It's sad. I used to love it.
Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Wednesday, walkabout, Club 8. Like,
it was buzzing. Absolutely.
Buzzing. There was nothing. You couldn't hear music. You couldn't hear anyone arguing or throwing up or calling their bestie to come and dance. Like, there was no slut dropping. There was nothing.
Nothing at all.
And that is sad.
And actually, before it started to get drug fueled and dangerous, those were some of the best nights of my life.
100%.
Like, I used to love, when it.
What was that one on the corner where you'd get shots?
Fever. Yeah. Oh yes. Fever. Before it started becoming dangerous. Before it started getting sad and I was trying to run from something, and when it was just
is the right word.
Yeah. And when it was just fun. Yeah. And it was about the dancing. Yeah. And the having a laugh, and I remember we used to go Liquid and Envy, me and my friends.
Were you not ever part of Time and Envy on the seafront? Or
no, I literally just missed that by a smidget. Yeah, it was like the year after it closed down that we all turned 18, and we used to go Liquid and Envy, and I remember a lot of the Time lot came to Liquid, and it was like this whole new thing, opening of this new club, and we used to love it. We would go out every Friday, every Saturday, and we'd always have this same bit in the club that we'd stand by, like the ramp as you come in, and we'd always be there. That was like
congregate,
and everyone knew that's where we hung out.
God, that's so cute.
And after that, you just realise, oh my God, I feel like I'm really speaking my age.
It's like nostalgia, isn't it? Well, you speaking your age. I used to go to Bar Blue, and
I met a lot of my friends.
I'm only a couple of years older than you. Yeah, it's that thing. I was a podium dancer at Time and Envy for a short while. Yeah, I might show you picture proof. I might not. It depends what mood I'm in. But and then when everything moved to Liquid and Envy, I did. But I was dancing on the closing night of Time and Envy, which was insane. Like, it was packed to the brim.
It's not like that anymore, is it?
No.
It is not like that at all.
I've just done it for the high.
Really?
Just the high of just getting people hyped.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I could do at Mindset Maintenance.
Yeah.
Come along, stick a rah-rah skirt on and hype up the crowd.
Do you imagine everyone
You heard it here first.
What are you doing? This is a rave. We're like, yes, it is.
Oh my God. if ever I have like a moment of psychosis, that's where you're going to find me. On the stage.
Do you know what, right? House music is my life. So I think that's why I'll still happily go out to the right event.
Yeah, because
if it's a dance event,
100%.
Absolutely, I'm away.
Yeah.
Creamfields, yes.
Yeah.
Ibiza, yes. People don't understand how I go to
Get
Ibiza.
high off the music. 100%.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
Mindset maintenance, and I mean, it's huge, isn't it? I mean, what you've achieved in such a short period of time, you've got to give yourself props and a pat on the back, right? The first year of mindset maintenance, I remember it as an outsider looking in, as being at the village.
Yeah.
Was that the first event?
Yeah, so the last 2 years have been at the village, and you know what, it's actually amazing for me to look back, because whilst I'm not the easiest person to work with, like, I can't give credit all to myself. Like, I have this team of people that have just taught me like all of these pockets of different things, you know, and it's just amazing to look back at the first year. So yeah, I started mindset maintenance in 2022 when we come out of the lockdown, but before, in 2020, it was called Support Society, and it literally was just in a community centre in Waterlooville.
Oh, wow.
And then lockdown happened and it kind of just sizzled out. So it was the thought,
the
concept was there.
For
And then I just rebranded it, brought it out as mindset maintenance, and in 2022 put on this live event. And it's so funny, isn't it? Because exactly that quote that I love, you don't know what you don't know. So we didn't have speaker agreements and paperwork and structures, and it was just, do you want to speak? Yeah, cool. It wasn't even what are you going to speak about. It was literally,
can you just turn up, please? Please trust me enough to turn up.
Turn up and speak.
Now, is this year you've got the founder of Unilad, is it?
Yeah, Alex
Lad
Partridge,
Bible?
founder of Unilad and Lad Bible, and he runs a ADHD chatter podcast.
Wow.
So he's like an entrepreneur, but talks a lot about his journey, and he's so real about it.
Yeah.
So real about it. And so I think that's, you know, the audience are really gonna get to understand, actually it's
That's
okay
incredible.
for me to be like this.
More diverse type thing.
Yeah.
How did you land that? Is that like my people speak to your people?
Do you know what? I know that you'll get this, but there might be people out there a bit like, no, woo-woo, but law of attraction, for me,
Right.
is
Did you just say woo-woo?
Yeah.
It was
When people
woo-woo.
say woo-woo, you know, like about spiritual things and
the
universe.
Okay. Keep teaching me.
They call it, some
Woo-woo.
people call it woo-woo,
Woo-woo.
don't they? And I'm
Right.
all for the woo-woo.
Right, woo-woo.
I have attracted many things through just saying. I just remember saying, I just had this vision. I want to have Alex Partridge speak.
Wow.
I want to have him speak. And I literally, I messaged him on Instagram and he just come back to me.
What? Bianca, that's insane.
Which
That's
is
incredible.
because
I
I
need
hear,
some of your woo-woo.
I've heard people say that he's not responded to them, and
Put
I'm
it in
like,
here.
yeah, sure.
That's amazing.
But yeah, like now when I speak to people and they're like, well, you just reply, and I'm like, yeah, that's quite cool. I think I attracted that though.
Yeah.
Because I literally just.
And it's believing
It's been-
in yourself and your brand and everything that, you know, like you said, with your team have achieved, which is phenomenal. And so this year, you are taking over the Guildhall.
Yeah.
Like, your promo for that was incredible.
Do you think?
Did you enjoy doing it?
Yeah.
That was
He's
pretty epic.
someone called George at Bounce Back, and he's just so good with his.
really.
He's just so on it with his video skills.
Yeah.
So good.
You've got that knack though, that like with your lingo and
Do you
the way
think?
you talk, you just I mean, you might have practiced it 100 times, I don't know, but
I know,
like,
not
you
sure.
just got that.
I don't, you know what? I'm very much
Thing.
an off the cuff kind of girl.
Are you?
When people were like, have you planned this? I'm like, no.
I'm just gonna rock out
And
and hope for the best.
I used to really get a bit, not paranoid, but a bit like self-conscious, like, should I have Yeah. And then I'm like, no, I'm like, no, sorry, this is me. Yeah. I'm not a planner.
I think
I'm
it comes with age type thing, right? The confidence in, like, this is who I am.
This is literally who I am. If you want someone that's got a plan and be really strategic, look somewhere else because it ain't me. Like, I'm not about that life. And I'm also not about being perfect and getting it right every time. I don't think, mindset maintenance is all about being human. And so, like, you know, I've had marketing girls volunteer for me and they're like, I'm sorry, I made that spelling mistake. Who cares? Why are we getting so pernickety over a bloody spelling mistake?
100%.
Like, I don't want to run that kind of business. And if people don't think that that's a good way to run a business, you're like, it's great to be surrounded by so many fantastic business owners. But then you also get, you know, open yourself up to a platform like LinkedIn. You also get the, you know, you see comments, and I just think, who
get
cares?
Off your perch a little bit.
Who cares? Like, you know,
point down.
Yeah. When I felt, when I talked about, you know, going off to Australia at the end of the year, it's that worry of what will people think business wise about, and then I thought. Bianca, you don't care. Why do you care? Why actually does that matter? Like, it doesn't. That's just your belief system kicking in because you've been fed that you...
And you've been tied down to the corporate world for years. So
I want to be free. I want to go and explore.
To Australia for 6 months wasn't a possibility.
Yeah.
Whereas now you've created your own freedom, which is the most beautiful thing
It's
ever.
very exciting.
Yeah.
And I never, ever thought I could have a life like this. I didn't think I was worthy. I didn't believe in myself at all.
Where does that stem from?
I don't really know.
No. Were you like that as a child?
Because I've always been confident.
Yeah, but like on the exterior, you've been confident.
Yeah.
But then on the inside, you're like,
Yeah. I know, that's why I think it's maybe a bit generational.
Yeah. As in, like, your parents are the same way.
Like their parents, you know, it was, and I think for a lot of people, especially in Portsmouth, you've got parents that think it should be a certain way. I think, you know, more so on my father's side, it's that belief system of work the 9 to 5. Like, doesn't matter if you're unhappy in a job, it pays the bills. You know, like all of that. You can't that's a word that many people hear growing up. Can't do this, you can't do that. How are you going to pay it? Like, you know, it's always...
I mean, the thing is that I always say about Portsmouth is that there's just so much opportunity. Like, so much opportunity.
I mean, there is anywhere, isn't there? There is everywhere. And you realise that the world actually isn't that big. Isn't actually that big. Like, you know,
you'll bump into somebody every time you go on holiday.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. But no, there is. It is, the world is everyone's oyster. You've just got to be, I guess, willing and open to take the opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where do you see mindset maintenance going?
Do you know what?
You're probably to come back from Australia.
Yeah.
So there'll be mindset maintenance 2025.
Yes, there will be. And this is the thing, right? What do I plan to do with mindset maintenance? I just want to keep it steady and I just want to impact people. I feel like what people expect you to say as a person that runs a non-profit, look, I don't even take a salary from it. What's important to me has changed so much, especially in the last year, and that having all the money in the world is not it. Not I've ever wanted to have all the money, but you know.
Yeah, there's more to life than that.
The big house, the big car, this, that, and the other. I'd actually be pretty okay with living in a flat for the rest of. Do you know what I mean? Until I meet someone and actually, because I don't need a big house. I don't need. Do you know what I mean?
But you want the freedom and you want the experiences.
I want the experiences.
Yeah.
I just want to make people feel good and feel good for myself and feel free and you know, I watched a video that comes up a couple of times on my Instagram, and maybe there's a reason for that, or algorithms, but it's like normal is living a 9 to 5 and hating your job. Normal is like 6 hours screen time a day, and like you know, just going through all what's deemed as normal. When you listen to it, you think that's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
We've literally been conditioned to believe
from school
all of this stuff that's normal.
From the youngest possible age that you can be.
Is that you should buy a house and be in debt.
Yeah.
For the rest of your life, you know. My landlords said to me, you know, why don't you come home early from Australia and you can negotiate with us on buying the flat? What, come home early from one of the most beautiful countries? There's a bit of an argument about which one it is. And go and get a mortgage so that I can moan about how much the mortgage rates have gone up.
Yeah.
No.
I'm alright, thanks.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go chill on Bondi.
Yeah, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
And I think as you grow and, you know, like, you realise, I'm glad that I'm realising that life is there to be lived and actually don't need to live in this certain way. And why the fuck are we living in this certain way?
And the thing is, it sounds like you're in that kind of like, I mean, absolutely, you're in your freedom era, right?
Yeah, I feel like a bit of a hippie, and I might get some like.
100%.
I mean, these trousers are quite baggy, but I feel like I'm going to get some proper harem pants.
If you come back,
put some
because you
flowers
just
in my
don't
hair.
know, right? Yeah, take.
I could literally meet.
You need one of these, a little one.
I could meet the love of my life, and I do think that's coming soon.
Open-minded.
Yeah. Yeah.
So did mindset maintenance come about because when you were struggling with your mental health, you needed something that wasn't there? Because I don't know of anything before mindset maintenance that was specifically targeted at mental health and well-being.
Being an empath,
Apologies if I'm wrong. Apologies if there's an entrepreneur out there who was doing it before, but I don't know of anything that was.
I think there are loads of people in Portsmouth doing
full mental health, but
things in different ways, and well, that's good to know. That's cool.
I'm trying to.
But I think everyone's doing good things in their own way.
Course.
But I just wanted to create a space where people felt seen, and they could. That's what it initially was. And then it moved on to the realisation of how important it is to learn about ourselves.
Right. So education
because actually,
is power.
Education is 100% power. And for me, I was in this. I went to the doctors, right, towards the end of my 20s. I'm anxious, I'm depressed, I need this from you. This is not saying that doctors aren't. That's what they're there for. If you are clinically struggling with your mental health, yes, these are things go and do. But for me, it was that realisation of you are out binge drinking and taking recreational drugs on weekends. Your sleep pattern's shit because you go to bed. You don't really go to bed Saturday night and then you sleep all day Sunday and then you're awake Sunday night.
Yeah, and you expect to function like a normal human from Monday to Friday.
So many people. Oh, I'm really struggling to function. Did you go to bed Saturday? And I try not to pass judgment on that because you don't know what you don't know. If you're in that, I didn't know it at the time.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand it, so it's really trying to get the message across in a kind way without passing judgment because, you know, you can't blame these people. It's this society that has brought us up, especially in England, to
think that that's
go out the weekend, get
way.
Smashed up.
Yeah.
It's just the way it's always been taught. You know?
Obviously, you're going back to Australia and take Australia as an example. It's not the same culturally, like at all. I've never been there, but from watching documentaries. So mindset maintenance. Then 2024. It's at the Guildhall.
Yeah.
Get your tickets now. Is it mindsetmaintenance.co.uk or is it?
mindset-maintenance.co.uk and then there will be a ticket link right at the top.
Perfect. Absolutely amazing. And to be fair, if you can't go, let's say that like me, you're on holiday, then buy one and gift it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen that happening actually recently. Absolutely. I'm kind of stealing this a little bit, but I've seen a lot this week, which I love, on social media where people are, businesses are saying, oh, what's the there's a term
Pass it
for
on.
it. It's not pass it on. It's quite a cool little thing that's been coined. But where you can basically buy a service, let's say a set of gel nails or a ticket to mindset maintenance, but pass it on to somebody, or you can nominate somebody, and then the business owner will pick someone or whatever. So just bear that in mind. If mindset maintenance for you isn't something that you want to go to, perhaps you're too anxious, perhaps it's not the right time, maybe you're away on holiday, or it's the first day that the kids are back at school, just buy one and pass it on. Do that. Why not? What would you say is the most politely rebellious thing you've ever done, Bianca? Little glint in your eyes there.
It shouldn't be rebellious.
Okay.
But it is seen to be rebellious in this world. But it's when I started setting up boundaries.
Okay.
And I've lost a couple of friends over it. But it's like saying, no, I don't want to go to a place just because you're all going. I think it sounds shit. I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Or I'm not coming to that event. Or
when you don't want to put yourself around certain things.
Yeah,
and I guess if you've been through this journey of self-discovery, and like you say, we are always on that journey, right? We're not the same people that we were 2 years, 10 years ago, 20 years ago.
Exactly.
And that's okay. You know, I remember going through a real
100%.
phase of being told that I was ruthless and and I'm like, no, I've just moved on. And if you want to stay
not ruthless, but if that's what you want to call it, that's cool.
And if you want to see it as a bad thing, then that's on you, isn't it, really? Not me. But if you're an overthinker and you think deep and you're an empath,
and I think
it takes a while to get to this stage, right? Of going.
I don't think it's like I always used to give myself a hard time if I then went back to really struggling with the, paranoia, fear of judgment, but actually it comes and goes in waves. Like there are certain things that trigger you off, and you think, and then it passes.
Just got to learn to kind of let it go.
Exactly. Easier said than done, but it's doable.
Just part of the growth.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the future then, so we've got Mindset Maintenance 2024, 1st of September. And then Australia, where she's going to meet the love of her life. If you could see somebody on Being Politely Rebellious in Pompey, who would you nominate?
I would say... Oh God, there's a few. Can I name more than one?
Of course, go for it.
I'd say Becky Simmons and Sophie Cartledge.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and Jodie, Endo South Coast. Oh God, there's so many. And Ronnie from...
Edwards.
God, all of them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's hard because there's so many people doing amazing
things.
stuff. But definitely, keep your eyes on them and get them in. Yeah.
We shall. We're coming for every single one of you. Thank you so much, Bianca.
That's okay.
Really
Thanks for having me.
No worries.